We return to Tokyo for more of the men's long jump final. Dwight Stones with you as we're now in the 4th round of the competition, and this is an unusual sight. Carl Lewis at the end of the runway looking back at Mike Powell. I don't think I've ever remembered Carl watching a long jump competition so intently. He just jumped the longest jump of his career in the 3rd round, 28.11 3/4. It was just slightly wind aided, but he has a big lead over Mike Powell, nearly a foot. As Powell now prepares to get something going, it's the 4th round. He doesn't have that many more jumps to waste in trying to catch Carl Lewis. Back in July, Powell said he was ready to jump far. He went over to Italy and jumped 28.7 3/4 at altitude. That's his personal best, but it's going to take more than that to catch Lewis. Here he comes, sprinting hard, and he checks up a little just before the board. That's a long, long jump. Oh, but it's a foul, and he can't believe it. The officials motion him over to show him the mark in the plasticine, and he says, no, 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 that's not my mark. But he argues to no avail. That was a long foul. That was very close to Lewis's mark. And he can't believe it. A wasted effort. What a competition this is. Let's see how close. Oh, just about 3/4 of an inch over. And he knows he's just about where he needs to be. Now, Carl had to have seen that jump. He was sitting at the runway watching Powell's every move. Is this guy amazing? 30 years old. And he just set the world record in the 100 meters. Oh, another great jump for Lewis. He's also drifting off to the right of the pit. I haven't seen that either. Oh, the wind is over the allowable. That is why he looked a little upset. Slapped his hands like, oh, nuts. But he's drifting over to the right, same way as Larry Myrick started to do later in his career. But what a series this man is having. 29, 2 3/4. That is in excess of the world record of Bob Beeman's, but it's wind aided. And he adds 3 inches to his lead in this competition. Ladies and gentlemen, if this man gets a legal win, he might just break Beeman's record. Unbelievable. His speed is exceptional on the runway. This man leaves nothing to spare on the board when he jumps. Well, look at that! So close to the 9-meter mark. And he sneaks another peek at the board. This is incredible. You can't squeeze any more out of a long jump board than that. We'll be back with more of this exciting long jump, but let's go up to the booth for the women's 100-meter hurdle. Back in Tokyo for more men's long jump. On his last attempt, Carl Lewis jumped in excess of the current world record held for the past 22.5 years by Bob Beeman. However, it was wind aided, exceeding the allowable limit by 9/10 of a meter per second, or roughly 2 miles per hour. This is Mike Powell, 5th round jump. He's starting to run out of time. In the 4th round, he had a slight foul right around 28 feet 9 inches. Powell's got to get on his horse right here. Oh, big jump for Powell. That was huge. And it's a fair jump. No red flag like in the last round. What an incredible competition. 0.3 meters per second aiding wind. That's not over the allowable. Carl, like everyone else, waiting for the measurement. Powell standing in front of the board, transfixed. 29.4½, a new world record, and the wind is okay. virtually out of nowhere in this competition. A long foul in the 4th round, but his best legal mark, 28 feet a quarter inch before that explosion, that bomb. Here he is on the runway, driving hard, breathing hard. He checks up, hits the board right on the button. Incredible height, the best height I've ever seen for Powell, the kind of height that Bob Beamon got in Mexico City. At 29.4½, Powell exceeds Beamon by 2 inches at sea level with no wind and with room to spare on the board. He can't believe it. But remember, this competition is not over. We're only in the 5th round, and Carl Lewis jumps after Mike Powell in the order. What must be going through this man's mind? The heir apparent to the long jump crown, the man who was supposed to break Beamon's record years ago, a man who broke Beamon's record with half-inch fouls 9 years ago in Indianapolis. Now, not only does he not have the world record at this moment, but one of the other people in the competition does. Mike Powell has seen this movie before. It happened at the National Championships in June. Lewis, the consummate competitor. Great jump by Lewis! But he's much more subdued in his reaction this time. We're splitting hairs in this competition. Powell knows that Lewis is capable of anything. You don't have a 65-meet winning streak over 10.5 years without not knowing how to respond under pressure. Lewis looking as good as he ever has on the runway on every one of his jumps tonight. Once again, right on the board. This time into a slight head with 29.125, the 3rd longest jump in history. When we come back, the women's 200-meter final, the decathlon 1,500 meters, and yes, the 6th and final round of this long jump where anything could happen. You don't want to miss it.